Can you believe it? Hotel charging sockets may be secretly recording you, while drones evade surveillance to smuggle contraband. These illicit black technologies lurking in plain sight are quietly invading your privacy and threatening public safety. Why are they so stealthy? What deadly dangers do they conceal? Today we'll peel back the disguise of these black technologies to reveal their true nature. In terms of portability, all these illicit gadgets adhere to the principle of being small and lightweight, ensuring ease of transport and operation. Spy glasses are feather-light, causing no discomfort when worn. Electronic lockpicking tools feature a slender cylindrical body measuring 34 m. The sonic attack bracelet weighs under 20 grams, feeling completely natural on the wrist. The data destruction USB drive measures merely 5 to 8 centimeters in length and less than 1 centimeter in thickness, fitting effortlessly into a pocket or rucksack, while the illegal drone hacking device achieves ultimate portability, weighing under 10 grams and easily concealed within the palm. This portability grants them formidable mobile operational capabilities, allowing criminals to switch between scenarios with ease, thereby complicating law enforcement investigations. As demonstrated in the case of Chang Mukyang's illegal drone flight control system hacking, uncovered by Kuzhou public security authorities in Zhejiang. The suspect utilized portable hacking devices to provide services across multiple locations, illegally compromising over 200 drones. Concurrently, the technical barriers to acquiring such devices are progressively lowering, with increasingly diverse procurement channels further amplifying their potential harm. Early miniature filming devices often commanded hundreds of dollars, whereas newer spy glasses have significantly lowered the entry threshold through optimized cost control. Though electronic lockpicking tools and Wi-Fi disconnection watches possess some technical complexity, they can be readily purchased through dark web marketplaces, covert social groups, and overseas purchasing agents. Certain devices even offer rental schemes such as spy glasses, available for $40 per day, further lowering the cost of illicit acquisition. Of particular concern is that beyond traditional dark web channels, social platforms like Telegram have emerged as new battlegrounds for illicit tech transactions. According to Elliptic's latest analysis, Chinese-dominated encrypted black markets on Telegram facilitate nearly $2 billion in monthly transactions, including substantial trade in prohibited technologies. Leveraging encrypted communications and third-party escrow mechanisms, these black markets have surpassed traditional dark web platforms to become the largest illegal online trading channels. Practical enforcement by public security authorities indicate their anonymity facilitates the illegal circulation of such equipment, forming a complete black chain encompassing production, distribution, abuse. In 2024 alone, national cybersecurity units traced and dismantled prohibited black tech. Their technical principles and application scenarios vary. Privacy intrusion devices focus on covert filming, exemplified by spy glasses and pinhole cameras. Spy glasses incorporate a 1920 x 1080 pixel micro lens supporting 30 frames per second for seamless surveillance in daily settings, complemented by automatic segmented storage. Pinhole cameras, leveraging their rice grain-sized dimensions, can be concealed within everyday objects. They utilize the pinhole imaging principle for recording, transmitting footage in real time via Wi-Fi, 4G, or other channels. Security bypass devices focus on overcoming protective measures. The multi-pick Chronos electronic lockpicking tool features a high-performance motor with an idle speed of 13,000 revolutions per minute and vibration frequency calibration precision of 0.01 Hz. It enables micro-adjustments for different lock cylinder structures and possesses highly effective bypass capabilities for pin tumbler locks and magnetic locks. Biometric deception glasses systems. Some high-end models can also integrate fingerprint membranes to achieve dual facial plus fingerprint bypass. Signal jamming devices fundamentally interrupt or corrupt signal transmission. GSM signal jammers emit powerful high-power models can also interfere with wireless surveillance and access. Wi-Fi disconnection watchers flood signal channels with fake connection requests, preventing nearby devices from connecting to the internet and even redirecting them to fake networks for data theft. Vehicle signal jammers precisely identify car remote key frequencies, transmitting interference signals that prevent the vehicle's receiver from decoding correctly, leading owners to mistakenly believe the car is locked. Devices designed, they possess potent burning capabilities, igniting flammable materials within seconds, and acoustic assault bracelets emit high-frequency ultrasonic waves between 18 to 22 kHz, causing temporary dizziness and tinnitus in humans. Prolonged exposure may result in permanent hearing damage. Electrifying devices convert low-voltage direct current into high-voltage, alternating current ranging from hundreds to thousands of volts via inverters. This creates intense electric fields in water, disrupting the physiological functions of fish and aquatic organisms, thereby completely destroying aquatic ecological balance. Data location tampering devices primarily function to destroy data or falsify positioning information. Data destruction USB drives employ multipass overwrite technology, rapidly overriding target storage areas with random data to eradicate all traces of original content. They are compatible with all USB interface storage devices. Disguised GPS signal simulators mimic authentic satellite signals to falsify positioning data for transport vehicles, vessels, and similar equipment, aiding illicit activities such as cargo theft or smuggling. Universal manipulation devices, exemplified by the Flipper Zero, integrate multiple capabilities including RFID signal cloning, sub-GHz band signal control, infrared remote control, Bluetooth attacks, and bad USB. These can effortlessly, notably, typically existing as software programs or external modules. These tools tamper with drone flight control codes to bypass no-fly zone restrictions, increase flight altitude and endurance, thereby providing technical support for unauthorized drone operations. Technically, these hacking tools either exploit loopholes in drone manufacturers' service terms to gain control. The misuse of such hacking devices not only disrupts aviation safety in critical zones like airports and military management areas but may also be employed for illegal surveying, illicit goods transportation, and other unlawful. While their core functionalities vary, these devices uniformly target breaching existing security frameworks, constituting grave dangers to individual rights and social order. The illicit misuse of prohibited black technologies has permeated multiple domains including personal life, commercial activities, and public safety, giving rise to diverse criminal patterns with an ever-expanding scope of involvement. Within personal rights infringements, criminals conceal pinhole cameras within items such as electrical sockets, alarm clocks, and coat hangers to covertly record private videos. These recordings are either distributed within the pornography industry or used for blackmail. According to a case study from the Ministry of Public Security's Clean Internet 2022 Special Operation, authorities in Zhejiang, Shandong, dismantled a major black market supply chain specializing in the illegal production and sale of eavesdropping and surveillance equipment. 52 suspects were apprehended, with over 60,000 finished products and components seized on site, valued at more than 50 million yuan. Among these were numerous pinhole cameras disguised as ballpoint pens, power banks, and charging plugs, devices widely employed for illicit activities such as hotel surveillance. Furthermore, biometric deception glasses were employed to infringe upon personal property. Criminals purchased others' facial data via the dark web to crack mobile payment passwords and execute thefts. Such cases feature prominently in a series of citizen personal information infringement cases. solved by police forces across multiple regions. Within the commercial sphere, illicit black technologies have become tools for industrial espionage and unfair competition. Acoustic attack wristbands are deployed during business negotiations, where spies wear them to disrupt competitors' thought processes and induce decision-making errors. Universal manipulation devices like the Flipper 0 are employed to infiltrate corporate premises, bypass access control systems, and steal trade secrets. In property theft scenarios, the misuse of electronic lockpicking tools, vehicle signal jammers, and Wi-Fi disconnection watches is particularly prevalent. High-end residential complexes have become prime targets for electronic lockpicking tools. One such complex witnessed 5 burglaries in a single night, where thieves employed professional lockpicking equipment to breach smart locks within minutes, looting valuables worth over 200,000 yuan. Vehicle signal jammers specifically target inattentive motorists. Criminals emit interference signals as owners lock their cars, then steal valuables after the owner departs. Such incidents constitute a significant proportion of theft cases, reported by public security authorities nationwide. Wi-Fi disconnection watches are predominantly deployed in crowded areas like shopping centers and supermarkets. Criminal gangs activate devices near checkout counters, exploiting cashiers' distraction while resolving network issues to steal cash and customers' mobile phones. Within public safety and criminal contexts, the misuse of prohibited black technologies has created severe security risks. GSM signal jammers are employed near ATMs for fraud, where criminals place jammers to render victims' phone signal-less, then steal bank card funds while the victim turns to seek assistance. More alarmingly, these devices are used to jam police communications, obstructing law enforcement operations. Disguised GPS signal simulators are employed in smuggling operations, where smugglers tamper with vessel positioning data to evade maritime surveillance. Such practices have been repeatedly uncovered in smuggling cases investigated by customs authorities. During the CleanNet 2024 special operation, Guangdong police cracked down on illegal activities involving the sale of virtual positioning software, which shares similar illicit applications with GPS signal simulators. High-energy laser torches pose a lethal threat to aviation safety. Pilots exposed to intense light during flight may experience temporary blindness, severely compromising flight safety. Civil aviation authorities have repeatedly issued alerts regarding such hazards, warning the public against the illegal use of high-energy laser devices. In recent years, the illegal hacking of drone flight control systems, known as black flights, has become increasingly frequent, emerging as a new public safety concern. In September 2025, the Ministry of Public Security specifically published 3 typical cases involving such activities. The drones involved were either used for illegal aerial photography, transporting prohibited items, or engaging in unauthorized flights near airports, posing a severe threat to flight safety during takeoff and landing. Such unauthorized flights not only disrupt normal aviation order but may also trigger crashes due to drone malfunctions, resulting in casualties and property damage. The consequences are particularly dire in densely populated areas or critical security zones. Moreover, in large-scale event security scenarios, the risk of illicit black technology abuse remains prominent. Some criminals attempt to disrupt security communications using signal jammers or steal deployment intelligence through covert surveillance devices, posing significant challenges to event safety. The proliferation of illicit black technologies inflicts multidimensional harm upon society. It not only directly infringes upon individual rights but also severely threatens public safety, disrupts ecological balance, and obstructs judicial fairness, constituting a systemic threat to the stable functioning of social order. At the level of individual rights, the misuse of privacy intrusion devices directly violates citizens' right to privacy. The dissemination and trafficking of secretly recorded footage further damages victims' reputation rights and may even cause severe psychological trauma. With the proliferation of covert recording devices, privacy risks now permeate private settings including hotels, homes, and offices. According to an industry report by Zhongfu Information, the number of illegal recording devices detected in China's hotel sector surged by 35% year-on-year in 2024. Devices disguised as power adapters or routers accounted for over 60% of these. Their extreme concealment enabling prolonged, undetected surveillance. The latest 2025 survey data from the non-profit organization Privacy Guardians reveals that 75% of victims of covert filming experience symptoms of anxiety and depression, with 35% having contemplated suicide. Furthermore, once such footage is uploaded online, it is virtually impossible to eradicate completely, causing victims enduring psychological distress. Police clinical psychologists further note that victims commonly experience insomnia and heightened vigilance, living in constant fear of being watched. This severely disrupts normal life, with some developing social anxiety that prevents participation in work and social activities. The misuse of biometric deception glasses and devices like the Flipper Zero directly threatens personal property security, leading to numerous theft cases where victims suffer irrecoverable financial losses. Furthermore, data destruction USB drives are employed to erase criminal evidence, enabling offenders to wipe critical records such as incriminating financial transactions and communication logs. This not only prevents recovery of victims' financial losses but also constitutes a grave infringement of their lawful rights and interests. Within personal data security, the misuse of prohibited black technologies has heightened the risk of information leaks. Facial data and behavioral patterns captured by covert surveillance devices can be exploited for targeted fraud, identity theft, and other illegal activities, fostering a black market chain of surveillance leak abuse. At the public safety level, the misuse of prohibited black technologies has infiltrated critical sectors including transportation, communications, and aviation, triggering a series of security hazards. Devices such as GSM signal jammers and Wi-Fi disconnection watchers can disrupt communication networks, potentially preventing emergency calls from connecting and delaying responses to critical incidents like medical emergencies or fire rescues. Incidents have occurred where illegal signal interference obstructed emergency communications, missing the optimal window for rescue operations. Vehicle signal jammers and GPS signal simulators can damage transport systems, potentially causing traffic accidents or cargo loss, disrupting the normal operations of the logistics industry. High-energy laser torches pose a particularly lethal threat to aviation safety. Should they trigger an air disaster, they could result in significant loss of life. Ecologically, the misuse of electrofishing equipment causes irreversible damage to aquatic ecosystems, disrupting the balance of the food chain. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs has repeatedly emphasized that illegal electrofishing drives economically valuable fish species to the brink of extinction across multiple river basins, severely undermining fishermen's livelihoods. Simultaneously, harmful substances generated during electrofishing degrade water quality and cause eutrophication, further damaging aquatic ecosystems and compromising drinking water safety for surrounding communities. At the judicial and social order level, the abuse of prohibited black technologies severely impedes judicial fairness. The use of data destruction USB drives leads to the loss of critical evidence, creating immense difficulties for judicial investigations, prolonging case processing times, and potentially enabling criminals to evade legal sanctions. Furthermore, the illegal circulation of prohibited black technologies has formed a complete black industrial chain, fostering various illegal and criminal activities that undermine normal market order and social ethics. The illicit black market for eavesdropping and surveillance devices, exemplified by pinhole cameras, spans multiple. Canada explicitly prohibits the domestic sale of Flipper Zero and similar hacking tools, designating such devices as controlled items posing a threat to public safety. Through amendments to the Controlled Offense Tools Act, the United States authorized export controls on emerging technologies via the Export Restrictions Reform Act, further amending regulations in 2023 to include high-end semiconductors and other products linked to prohibited black technology R&D, thereby restricting illicit circulation of related technologies. The European Union enacted the Cybersecurity Directive, imposing stringent controls on GPS signal simulators and biometric spoofing devices, requiring member states to establish uniform enforcement standards. In 2024, the Netherlands further expanded restrictions on lithography equipment exports to prevent such technology from being used in prohibited black technology development. Japan amended its Foreign Exchange and Foreign Trade Act to designate 23 categories of semiconductor equipment as export-controlled items. In July 2024, it further added 5 semiconductor-related goods and technologies to the control list to prevent the misuse of core technologies. Although China has not enacted specific legislation targeting illicit black technologies, multiple laws, including the Public Security Administration Punishment Law, Criminal Law, and Anti-Unfair Competition Law, form a regulatory framework. These explicitly classify the illegal production, sale, and use of jammers and covert surveillance devices as unlawful activities. Addressing the issue of unauthorized drone flights, China's regulations on the safety management of civil unmanned aircraft explicitly prohibit the illegal hacking of drone flight control systems and stipulate specific penalties for related offenses. Certain nations have imposed specific bans on particular devices. For instance, China prohibits the production and sale of high-energy laser torches and other equipment posing public safety risks. Malaysia, meanwhile, announced export controls on U.S.-manufactured high-performance AI chips effective July 2025, requiring relevant activities to obtain strategic trade licenses to prevent AI technology from being diverted into prohibited black technology research and development. Mechanisms to consolidate regulatory efforts, while strengthening transnational law enforcement cooperation to address China's public security authorities in conjunction with cyber regulators, market supervisors, fisheries, maritime, and civil aviation department have conducted. Cyber regulatory authorities prioritize investigating trading channels such as e-commerce platforms, social media applications, blocking illegal transaction links, and penalizing non-compliant accounts. Since 2024, they have cumulatively removed over 12,000 instances of illegal transaction information and suspended more than. Market regulators have conducted routine inspections of physical venues such as electronics markets and small, confiscating fisheries, key water areas to rigorously combat maritime authorities. Civil aviation authorities collaborated with public security to establish an unmanned aerial vehicle UAV black flight early warning mechanism, successfully handling multiple incidents. According to the Guangdong Provincial Public, beyond Guangdong, countries such as Canada and the United States, through technique. In 2025, joint U.S.-Canadian law enforcement successfully, over 20 suspects were apprehended, with more than 1,000 items including jammers and covert surveillance devices seized. The operation. Regarding penalties, in China, penalties for the illegal production, sale, or use of prohibited black technology vary according to severity. Minor offenses incur up to 5 days detention or fines below 500 yuan. More serious cases warrant 5 to 10 days detention. pursued according to law. For instance, the illegal sale of devices such as GPS signal. EU member states may impose fines of up to 10% of turnover on businesses selling biometric deception devices, while individuals may face up beyond administrative and criminal penalties. Certain nations have established civil compensation mechanisms. Victims may seek damages from entities illegally producing, selling, or using. These stringent regulatory measures and severe penalty standards effectively curb the emergence and proliferation of prohibited. Their core warning lies in the imperative that scientific progress must adhere to legal and ethical boundaries, serving the positive development of human society. The coordinated advancement of scientific progress prohibited black technologies as aberrations of technological. This fully demonstrates that technological advancement, when detached from legal and ethical constraints, poses severe. This phenomenon serves as a stark reminder to technology developers that they must uphold. For instance, while the manufacturer of Flipper Zero claimed the device was intended for security testing, it failed to implement effect. This case serves as a warning that enterprises must shoulder social responsibility. Control mechanisms. Concurrently, the proliferation of illicit black technologies has spurred accelerated upgrades in countermeasures, intensifying the technological arms race between defensive systems and abusive applications. A growing array of precise, high-efficiency protective devices now provides technical support for preventing the misuse of such tech. In the biometrics sector, confronting threats from biometric spoofing glasses, facial recognition equipment manufacturers have upgraded algorithms to incorporate dynamic liveness detection. By requiring some high-end devices further in the realm of signal security, telecommunications operators have intensified research into anti-jamming technologies, deploying multiband signal backup systems that mitigate the disruptive. Concurrently, real-time monitoring platforms for illegal signals have been established, enabling rapid identification and neutralization of interference sources. In cross-verification of multi-source positioning data effectively counters GPS signal simulator tampering. By 2024, this system had been in privacy protection. Zhangfu Information's recently launched Zhangfu Hunter shadow eavesdropping and covering the entire 1 MHz to 9 GHz frequency band. It locates cameras within 0.1 seconds with a false alarm rate 0.1%, with positioning accuracy within 0.1 meters, 10 times more precise than conventional detectors. It additionally supports endoscopic inspection, electromagnetic signal capture, and Wi-Fi. Its 10.1-inch touchscreen enables straightforward operation by the general public, effectively lowering the threshold for professional-grade protection. With utilizing radar detection and radio jamming technologies, these systems enable precise identification, tracking, and forced landing of unauthorized black-fly drones. In 2025, a certain airport successfully resolved these technological advancements not only enhance defenses against illicit black technologies, but also drive innovation within relevant technical fields, fostering a virtuous cycle of technology abuse, countermeasures, technological evolution. Furthermore, establishing a balanced framework of technological advancement plus security protection requires concerted efforts from governments, enterprises, and the public to form a comprehensive, multi-tiered governance structure. Governments should further refine legislation to address regulatory gaps, promptly revising relevant legal provisions to clearly define illegal boundaries and penalty standards for emerging prohibited technologies such as drone hacking and AI-assisted covert filming, strengthening proactive oversight of new technologies and products to anticipate potential risks and prevent the emergence of novel prohibited technologies. Enhance cross-border law enforcement. Collaboration by establishing information sharing and joint enforcement enterprises, for instance, technology The general public should heighten security awareness and learn methods to identify prohibited black technologies. For instance, when checking into hotels, one may use a mobile phone torch to inspect for suspicious reflective points or employ professional detection equipment to check for hidden surveillance devices. When using electronic locks, facial recognition systems, and similar devices, individuals should protect their biometric information to prevent leaks. Upon discovering suspicious devices or evidence of illegal regarding the risks of unauthorized drone operations, the public should proactively familiarize themselves with relevant regulations such as the Civil Unmanned Aircraft Safety Management Regulations. Refuse to use illegally modified. Concurrently, there should be a strengthening of technology ethics education, integrating ethical considerations into the national education system to guide society, ensuring it only by establishing a collaborative governance framework involving government oversight, corporate self-regulation, and public participation can we effectively curb the proliferation of prohibited black technologies. This will foster a virtuous